Now, the rate of change itself is increasing. Many of us grew up with parents and grandparents who said, whoo, once I reached whatever age, it's just hard to keep up with all of this stuff. And you might think that what you're feeling right now, some of us in the room, maybe not the students, but some of the rest of us in the room, you might be thinking that's what's happening to you right now. I am here to tell you this is not that. They did not endure this much change in this amount of time for this sustained period of time. What we're experiencing is something that's actually unnatural. We have not seen this before. Now, there's a few things that are driving it. I'm not going to have a lot of time to go super deep, but a few things you should be aware of is that business cycles themselves are shrinking. And this is impacting many of your clients depending on the type of clients you serve, whether agency or if you're in-house. If we were to go back 50 years back from there, the average Fortune 500 size company had a business cycle of about 75 years. What that means is they didn't have to reinvent themselves completely, but every 75 years. And when you think of some of the larger banking institutions or your Coca-Colas and Pepsis, it makes sense. Their business models were very similar for decades. They really only had to start making huge changes in the last 20 or so years. Now, what we found is in 2001, that business cycle shrank for 75 years to 15 years. Right now, it's estimated to be between 4 and 7, meaning that an organization of a certain size has to reinvent itself every 4 to 7 years so that it can stay competitive. What's happening now is that organizations are innovating from a place of fear, which makes them sometimes innovate in ways that isn't actually helpful. How many of us have used products or services where you see their updates and you're like, this is stupid? Like, I don't mean like you can't learn it or you're mad, but it's actually dumb. They are innovating from a place of fear. That's where it gets you. So number one, business cycles are shrinking. Number two, technology innovation itself is speeding up. That was already happening, but especially with COVID, it sped things up even more because all of a sudden, all these organizations that for years said it's impossible to have people work from home. Guess what we all learned? Very possible, right? But a lot of technology had to be created to do that. All those people that we know that were self-proclaimed Luddites, that were proud of not using technology, and I don't use all those appy things, all of a sudden they're ordering their groceries just like the rest of us, right? And then some of us even had children in virtual school. Who had that beautiful experience of having children in virtual school? Some of you in this room were in virtual school. How was that? How was it? Someone said, horrible, terrible. Someone with a deep voice, thank goodness, not one of the students, said, I started drinking. No judgment. Whatever gets you through, right? And so now we're more attached to this technology than ever before because many of us, some of us in here that are agency owners run our business from our pockets, the phone in our pockets. We're so attached to the technology. The last thing that I want you to be aware of that's fueling this shift is that humans are becoming stressed out cyborgs.